Hello, and welcome to the McNeil Voice Studio Patreon podcast after show. Today, I have a very special guest, Jakaye Garth, soon to be Martin.
Yes.
Jakaye is a community leader and is the president of the Lake Cumberland Diversity Council. And we just had an amazing podcast interview. So, you guys got to check that out if you haven't already. But now it's time for some silly questions. So, the first thing I like to ask people is, well, today, what was the last emoji you used?
Yeah, so I guess I'm pretty simple on emojis, but I always use the thumbs up. Good, I got it. Yes, okay, we're good. We're on the same page. And the heart emoji, the little red heart. I
Yeah.
always use different colors on the heart. So depending on, actually, just real quick, my Somerset High School cheerleading just went to nationals and they came back and they got third place. And so I
Ooh.
posted a big thing on Facebook and their video and everything. And I used purple and gold hearts. So the hearts may be my favorite emoji. So because I can use different colors.
Oh my gosh, I love emojis, but I probably like them too much. Apologizing to all my friends. What is the one common myth about your profession or field that you would like to debunk?
Yeah. So I thought about this with my field and I thought I was in the hospitality. I'm in the hospitality industry and I don't really know of any myths for that. But I am a director of sales. So sales is a huge, everybody has myths that, salespeople are pushy or, they just talk a lot or they just want you to buy something and stuff like that. So, I like to take a different approach to sales. I have a degree in strategic communications, so I learned a lot about public relations, and so I kind of like to take more of a PR approach to sales, especially in the hospitality industry and working with hotels. So I like to be involved with the community. I like to sponsor. I like to do fundraisers and volunteer. So that is more my take on sales. And then I just hope that if I'm involved in the community and people know me and they know what I do, then that brings them to me. And that is kind of how I have my take on sales. I try to be just approachable and personable.
I love that. Yeah.
Yes.
I guess you're right. Yeah, people think sales and they're like, "Oh, watch out."
Yeah. Yeah. Hang up the phone.
What's okay, here's one. What's the most awkward thing that happens to you on a regular basis?
Yeah. So we talked about it a little bit in the podcast. So if you haven't got to watch it, or listen to it, go back and listen to it and we can talk a little bit more. But I know this is supposed to be silly and it's more on a serious level, but I get asked almost every single day if I am from around here. And it is I don't know why it's so awkward to me. I think it's most of the time because of the response I get when people tell me when I say yes, I am from around here, because then they'll start like asking me if I know like all the black people who they know. And then I'm in this like conversation where I'm just like yes or no or this and I'm just like I just really want to get out of this conversation right now. So I don't know. I guess I'll have to think on that a little bit more and be more aware of awkward situations that happen to
No,
me on a
that's
daily
pretty
basis.
awkward.
But yeah, it gets kind of awkward sometimes.
Oh my. Yeah, you're just like, "I just want my groceries."
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, can we not do this today?
Okay, since you do a lot of public speaking, I've seen you do stuff in like the, public square kind of thing, and I've also seen you do panels. Do you have any funny or scary stories that have happened when you were public speaking?
I was never a huge public speaker until I took a debate class in college. And I loved it so much, which is so weird because I don't like confrontation, but I was able to like really put out the points in that debate class. But also, one time when I was in college, I was working at my internship and I had planned this huge kind of like little seminar to introduce Moorhead as becoming a trail town. So you could go through, the trails and the Daniel Boone and then come out into our downtown. So I promoted it and I promoted it. And then we got there day of and like nobody showed up.
Oh no.
Yes. And I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? What do I do? Well, also the same day, the venue, it was just one of the classrooms, had double booked my event with a class. They were having a class in there, and the class happened to be some foreign exchange students were having their English class in that classroom. And so I had everything set up, little bags and giveaways on the table, and they come in, and I got to talking to the teacher, and I was like, "Can I present to your class?" And she was like, "You know what? Yeah, you can. That would actually be a really good idea." And so I presented to the class. I got to give away everything. I got to do my presentation. So it wasn't all, a loss for me. And she said it was really good for them because um, of my accent. And they
Oh.
were able to hear different accents and, hear me speak, just regular speaking, like I am today. And because they were there for their English speaking class, it kind of helped them out too.
Wow. Well, that's a good that turned good.
Yeah. Yeah, it could have been bad.
What have you been reading or listening to recently that has inspired you?
Yeah, so I'm not a huge reader, but I have been trying to read more here often. So I actually have two books that I read recently here with me. Um, so this one is
Ooh.
Live Fearless. Have you read that one?
No, but I want to.
Yes, it's by Sadie Robertson off of Duck Dynasty, and I always used to watch that show. I read this one in a book club with a few of my girlfriends, and sometimes I feel like I had was living my life in fear. So I love this book. It really just kind of gives you different activities. It's very hands on. There's a lot of activities in there. There's a lot of conversation starters on what you can do to live your life without fear.
Wow.
So that's one of them I recommend. And then I have this one. It's called So You Want to Talk About Race. I read this one. I've been reading this one in a book club as well. I guess it's better for me to read with other people. And so then I can discuss it. But this book it's great. It has so many um, topics that are just very confrontational right now, and maybe a little bit diversive, but it goes into how you can talk to people about those things and how you can have those conversations.
Yeah.
And then just a couple other things I wanted to mention. I love music, love music. So definitely listening to things is much better for me. But I've been on a Tupac kick.
Woo.
I go back and listen, and everything he says is just still so relevant today.
Mm.
So I would just recommend, throwing on a Tupac playlist and maybe listening to some of those things. And then a few Facebook shows that I like to watch all the time. Red Table Talk.
Oh yeah.
And then actually with the Sadie Robertson At Home with the Robertsons. That's a
Okay.
new Facebook show that they have, but they've sat down with people about they have a biracial son that they adopted. So they sat down and talked about that. They've sat down and talked about COVID and the vaccine and everything like that. And then Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man.
Ooh.
That's a really good Facebook show or, podcast that I like to listen to a lot now.
Wow, you just like handed so many options. I'm so excited for our patrons. Yes.
Yes,
And I was writing
definitely.
things down.
Yes, read, watch, listen.
um so who are maybe three people who have influenced you the most in your life?
Yeah, so number one, always first and foremost, is my mom. She is my best friend. She's my biggest supporter. She's my biggest encourager. She's my biggest critic. So she's just everything, and she raised me on her own. So everything that I do and that I am today, I definitely, owe to her, and I do because I want to make her proud. And then both of my grandmothers too, my mom's mom and my dad's mom, they both worked cleaning houses and doctors' offices. They both did that for
Wow.
their whole entire lives. They both retired doing that, but they are just such hard workers, and I try to learn that from them. And that's one of my biggest values, is just to make sure that I'm working hard and I'm putting my all into everything I do. So I would say that those three definitely influence me the
Wow.
most.
So, we'll end with this. What is some good advice that has stayed with you? Given to you a long time ago, and that just always stayed with you.
Yeah, so I'll go back to my mom because I wouldn't be where I am today without her. And I'm sure she's given me all kinds of advice. But one of the main things that she always told me is that I can always overcome any obstacle that's put in front of me. So no matter what it is, don't, just because you have an obstacle put in front of you, don't take that as you failed at something or this is the end of the road. You can always overcome that. And she just always encouraged me to overcome any obstacles that were put in front of me. And everybody will do that in different ways. But if I had to give, advice to anybody, it's kind of just keep pushing forward and overcome.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for joining me
Thank
today.
you.
And thank you, patrons. I will see you next month.
Thank you.
Bye.